Using your website, I want you to come to this download the files before beginning the videos and click on the link. Clicking on the link is going to take you to a new folder with all the assets I want you to add in for the scripts, and we're going to download that. Once it's been downloaded, I am going to go ahead and open up. Once it's been downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and open up my downloads. It downloaded as a zip file. I'm going to double click it. Opening Unity back up and then going back to my Finder. Probably the easy way to make sure you select everything is just double click it. So all I did was double click the folder, and I want to select all of these, and I'm going to click and drag these right into this assets, right into that, and then you'll see that they all load in. And there are all of our scripts that we're going to use. Going back to our player, we need to begin to set up our player so that it can move. For our player to work, we want to come over to Add Component, and we want to add in our Physics 2D. And you can choose what type of collider you're going to add. I like to add the Polygon Collider just for the shape alone, you can see. And then if I want to edit that collider, I click right on this button here, and this allows me to get all of these lines a little bit closer so that I'm not running into things on the outside of my object, but it is working with what I need it, with the shape that I need. You can see we're just kind of editing each of these shapes in here, finding the points. So fine tune your Polygon Collider to fit your spaceship. And when you're all done, you can go ahead and click on that. And now you see that that collider fits really well. If you remember in the previous game, we also went up to the top and we had to make sure that we tagged this as our player. This will allow us to pick up obstacles in the future. In order to make our player move, we're going to come down to our scripts. I'm going to open this folder up, and I'm going to find my movement script. The script we're going to use is this move, and we're going to click, and once again there's a couple ways to drag this. Click and drag right to your player till you get the arrow, or click and drag off to the side until you get the blue line that appears. It is entirely up to you which way you go with this. We're going to start adjusting our rigid body and our move with arrows. We don't want to move all in directions, we're just going to move horizontal only. Usually the speed is a little high, so I'm going to lower it down to 2. And now I'm going to move down to this rigid body here. We have gravity on. We do not want gravity, so we're going to set it as a 0. The other thing that happens, if you remember, when we click play on this and we start to move, the character really floats a lot. I'm not even pressing the key anymore. If you remember from the last video, what we did is we started to mess with some of our linear drag here and our angular drag. So I'm going to start with a 1 for my linear drag, and my angular drag, let's make that a 1 also. And if we click play and we use our arrows, notice how it stops much sooner. You could play with those numbers a little bit more if you wanted to. I'm going to take it off and maximize on play. I am going to try a 2 on my linear drag and click play. Stops a lot faster, but I can probably do a little bit more. So right here is my angular drag. Let's add a 2. Now I am still in play mode up here. I am just testing this out. I need to come click back in here. So still not quite what I want. Let's go up to a 3 and let's try a 3. Click in the window. Much better. Has still a little float, so we could increase it if we needed to, but I still like it. I could also slow my character down. So we've got our player tagged as a player. We have a collider added to it. We've added our movement, and we've adjusted our rigid body. One other thing that we're going to do is we do not want this to rotate when we hit something, so we're going to check on the Z. We want to freeze that. And we're ready to move on to the next step of creating our laser bullet.